It was bound to happen eventually. And man, what a day. Hey folks, so I set out to film a fun, relaxed video for you. Just me, my best buddy Falki, the Hasselblad 501C, and the true hero of the day, Kodak Vericolor 160. A gorgeous color-negative film that hasn't been made in decades. The rolls I was using? Expired for over 20 years. Yep, proper vintage vibes. The video? Done. Some of the photos? I can show you. But not all of them. Because then disaster struck. Falki and I were deep in conversation about our next shot, wandering through this amazing abandoned spot. And just like that, bam, one of the tripod legs gave out. No warning. The locking mechanism just gave up. Instead of capturing the next beautiful frame, we were hit with a loud crash. The tripod went down, and with it, the Hasselblad 501C, the Carl Zeiss CF 5.6 250mm lens, and a few accessories, all slamming into solid stone. We both froze. Just stood there, staring in disbelief at this toppled piece of gear, scattered around it, broken pieces. At first, I thought it was worse than it was. Turns out it was the rotating flash shoe that shattered, a handy little thing I use for mounting flash bulbs or a tiny light meter. Sad, but manageable. Then I noticed the UV filter, or rather, what was left of it. A Zeiss T-Star UV filter, attached via a Hasselblad Series 60 to 67mm adapter. That filter gave its life to protect the lens. Completely shattered. The adapter took a solid hit too, now jammed onto the lens, stuck tight. But wait, it gets worse. I picked up the lens and gave it a good once-over. That's when I saw it. Part of the barrel was moving, wiggling. Not good, definitely not normal. I cautiously tried firing the shutter. Click. It worked. For a second, I felt a wave of relief, but that didn't last long. No matter which shutter speed I selected, it always fired at the same speed, every single time. And now, nothing. It won't even fire anymore. So there we were. I dropped down onto an old bench, stunned, eyes fixed on the sky. Falki sat beside me, just as quiet. Sometimes photography hits you right in the feels. But now, let's get to the fun part of the video. If you've seen some of my other videos, you probably know I love experimenting with expired film. I've shot a bunch of film stocks that take me right back to the golden age of analog photography. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Turns out I really am 54 years old. So naturally, I was super curious to see what kind of results I'd get from the Kodak Vericolor 160. This film's a true classic and hasn't been made in ages. Now, a lot of you probably know the rule when it comes to expired film. For color negative and black and white negative films, you generally want to overexpose by one stop for every decade the film's been expired. Slide film, totally different story. You shoot that at box speed, but be prepared for some wild color shifts. All right, enough talk. Let me show you what came out of it. Here are the results. For development and scanning, I sent the films off to one of the photo labs I trust for these kinds of jobs. I've been using them for a while now. About a week later, I got the download link. The scans were ready. A few days after that, the negatives showed up in my mailbox. Super excited, I opened the scans from the 2 rolls of Vericolor 160. And then what the heck? Almost every shot was covered in tiny specks. Tons of them. My first thought? Dust? But that didn't make sense. Fujifilm scanners with ICE technology usually work like magic for that kind of stuff. So I checked the Kodak Gold 200 rolls I'd sent in at the same time. Crystal clear. No specks, hardly any dust at all. So, what was going on? I emailed the lab to ask. Not long after, I got a response. Something like this. I looked into it. The original negatives show the same issue. These aren't scanning artifacts, they're emulsion flaws which can happen with expired film. Unfortunately, Vericolor 160 isn't immune to that. Fair enough. I can live with that, especially since none of my non-expired films had these issues. So yeah, I had to spend a bit of extra time cleaning things up in Photoshop. Not ideal, but hey, that's part of the adventure when you're shooting with film that's older than my youngest son. Have you ever run into emulsion issues with expired film? I'd love to hear about your experiences. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Alright, now I want to share some of the photos I shot on Kodak Vericolor 160. This film was the predecessor to today's Kodak Portra line, and you can definitely tell, the quality is seriously impressive, even after all these years. And after that, I'll show you some images of the abandoned place, this time shot on fresh Kodak Color Gold 200 for comparison. Enjoy the photos, thanks so much for watching, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.